Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lives all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got
Hello. I am back. I know I was out last week. I thank y'all for everybody that reached out to make sure that I was okay because y'all didn't see this beautiful face. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
Don't even worry about it. I did good. I had enough beauty, so they didn't miss you that much.
Anyway, so as you see, my co-host that think he's a comedian is here and present tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we definitely do.
I'm always happy when we got Miss Larnika rolling with us. That's my girl right there.
Oh, well, thank you kindly.
Awesome.
I'm so happy to be here.
Therapist is in the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that means y'all know it's gonna be a good one.
Ooh, I'm ready for it. I'm kind of nervous, but I'm ready.
Yeah.
You too. Look here. Look. I am prepared for this episode. You know, act like I'm in the gym.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. We have hey, what's going on? Go Talented. Good evening. That's my friend that just tuned in. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. We have an amazing guest. And I'm not well.
First,
I could be. Oh, sorry.
Topic.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
You might as well. I thought you was gonna roll with the topic.
No,
anyway, I am excited about tonight's episode because this involves two people that are dear to my heart. My big head bestie of what's it now, 30-something, 33 years. Oh, Jesus. And his awesome mother, to have this conversation that is so rare in our Black community. So yeah, I ain't gonna look here. I'm just prepping. So tonight's topic is generational trauma, the trauma we caused. We know that as a lot of us are getting older, we realize that we do have childhood trauma in one way or another. It is not normal, so to speak, but hey, when you can be able to be on an open platform and have somebody open to talk and discuss this issue, especially a parent, it is one for the books to be able to have that space of open honesty and transparency. So, sir, you want to go ahead and introduce Mama?
I mean, yeah, she's awesome. She's amazing. She's beautiful. She looked just like me, so of course, she got to be something about her. But she is my mother. I love her dearly. We are about to just talk and share our story. And yeah, Mama, come on, Mama. It's Miss Donna. That's it. Look. See it? Y'all see it.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Hey Mama, we good. How are you?
I'm good. I heard, baby, look, I was in here jamming off the music. I say, now see, they.
That's my mama, because y'all know I'll be cutting up too.
Oh yeah, I say okay.
Just like
but anyway, yeah, I'm good. I'm sitting here. I'm looking at my 98-year-old Annie in front of me.
Yeah,
that's a blessing by itself, and she moving and grooving, baby.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here watching her while I talk.
In the comments, y'all, and Sharetta said hi, Mom.
Hey, baby, how you doing? You know, the reason I just brought it up with Jermaine is because whenever we're around.
Wait.
What?
Dee-J.
Well, you don't tell me what to
Come on,
do.
Jermaine.
What about
Jermaine.
You don't tell me what.
Jermaine.
You don't tell me what to do. You ain't my boss. You ain't the boss of me.
You like mine.
He ain't. Anyway, when like when he's around, whenever we're around, when any of my children are around me, we talk and laugh and joke, because we grew up together. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm an older, seasoned woman, when we talking, and it depends on what we're talking about, and I tell them, you know what, all y'all are crazy. But I said that y'all gonna have trauma. And it's because y'all my children. I said, if you my baby, and I birthed all my babies naturally, you crazy. You got trauma. If you my child, you got trauma.
So,
No,
Mom, speaking of us growing up together, Mom, how old were you when you had me? And mind you, I have a brother that's older than me, almost 2 years.
Well, I had my first baby at the age of 13. And then I was right at 15 when I had him.
Yeah.
So they grew up with me.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I had his sister. He's 10 months older than she is. So I had my first three kids, 75, 76, 77.
Yeah.
I was like 14, 15, and 16. I had three kids. And the good part about it is because now I sit back and I look at them. I'm only 64. I'll be 64 in a couple of days.
2 weeks.
We cool. You know what I'm saying? We good. But I was raised by women. I had a grandfather and a grandmother, then my other grandmother, but all my aunts, it was girls. And they were good to me. I've been a spoiled brat all my life. I never listened. I never listened to nobody.
You still don't.
I still don't, and I'm not. And so whatever I did, nobody in my family, they didn't do nothing, like they didn't tell me to stop having kids. Yeah, they did. My aunts, my mother's sisters, I started doing drugs real early. I've been growing all my life, yeah.
We often joke, and I tell Mom, we just gonna be in the nursing home together. We are.
Look, we are really. But I started doing drugs early, around 15ish, I believe. And that's when stuff started just getting out of hand. And it wasn't because I come from a family of drugs. My mom was a nurse, a pediatric nurse. All my aunties is nurses and yeah. So it wasn't that. I don't.
Was it like peer pressure, or was it just something that said maybe take the pressure off because you already had them at a young age?
It could have been that, but just wanting to do what the hell I seen everybody else do. And just at that time, weed and stuff was popping, and my cousins, because we spent a lot of time not even here. We've always been around my cousins, my first cousins, and all of them. So everything we did, it was just us. I never experienced no kind of sexual abuse for none of my family, none of my cousins. I never experienced that to say that caused it. That didn't. No, it wasn't none of that, because they were all the ones that I was raised with. Were like my big brothers. So they was my protectors. So I didn't have that issue. I don't know. But
How deep questions can I ask?
Whatever you want.
Okay. So how many siblings did you have?
I'm the oldest out of 11.
Okay.
My mother has 5 children. I'm the oldest. I have a sister and I have 3 brothers. My dad had 8 children. I'm the oldest. Me and my sister have the same father.
Okay.
And then I have 5 siblings, and I'm still the oldest. And even with my dad, his mother, my grandmother, they let me do what I wanted to do. They didn't do nothing to me.
They probably didn't want to argue with you.
Probably, but my father didn't want nobody to whoop us. He would tell my mom that don't touch my children. His grandmother, his mom, and I spent a lot of time with my grandmother too. You know, my dad and mom wasn't together, but they was best friends. They was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So she would come to San Antonio, and he'd come to get us, me and my sister, and they would stay with us at our house. And my mama would get their car and they'd be gone. And that's just how it was. So my trauma just was because I was young, want to do what I wanted to do, did do whatever, anything that I thought I was bad enough to do, I did it. To the point to where it cost me my, let me see, what did it caused me to lose my way, you know, as far as making rational decisions, because nobody told me nothing. So a lot of stuff, my family wasn't other streets, you know what I'm saying? All that I just learned on my own. None of them was out there doing the stuff that I was doing, and they couldn't stop me. And so I'm out in the street, but my mom and all of her sisters had my kids. If the CPS people came to get my kids, well, my mama was gonna come. My mom was gonna come get my kids, and all of her sisters was gonna help her.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, my grandmother, my mom's mom, you know, I was over here where I am now. You know, I don't know. I never had to struggle. When I struggled, it was because my little raggedy. Wait.
You
stuff.
You good?
My little raggedy self was just doing what I want to do. I never had to be on the bus with my kids. I never knew what it was to have to call and ask somebody for something. If I was in an apartment and I didn't pay my bills, my mama was gonna come. She was gonna talk about me, beat me up, tell my grandmother and her sisters what she was gonna do. I'm laughing because, you know why I'm laughing? Because when I think about it, before she passed away, she told me one day, we was talking. She said, you know, I was going to take you off my insurance policy because you just don't listen. You just doing whatever and whatever. She said, and you know what your grandma told me? I said, no, mama, what she say? She said, she told me, you leave her alone. She's going to be the one that'll take care of you. She say she young, and I know she wild, and she foolish. She said, but too sweet, that's going to be the one. And she said, so I didn't change my insurance policy. I said, well, what you telling me that for? A couple of months later, she passed away. Mm-hmm. But she told me this. She said, my mama said she was going to take care of me, and you did it. But it was just what I know to do because I'm really a nurturer by heart. When I wasn't in the street, I was a good mama. You know, I would cook cookies and, you know, be there with them, but I didn't know how to be a mama. So I didn't know how to be stable, get a house and stay there and keep it. That's trauma, being unstable for kids when they don't know.
So a comment over here, somebody asked if you're my mom's sister, if you are my mother / my sister. Uh-huh. Now, the funny thing about that is I didn't, for a major part of my life, I actually thought she was my sister because I spent so much time with my grandmother. Like, I actually thought that my mother down there was my sister because I was always with grandma and grandma was mama. So that's why that kind of made me laugh. I just wanted to do.
Yeah, really. Yeah. And I think when he found out I was his mama, he was crying. I think he cried.
I was a little devastated.
I got like a whole bunch of probing questions that I'm curious about. So you had 11 siblings. You're the oldest of everybody. You were with your aunts and your grandmother mainly? Is that who you were raised with, or y'all just all lived in the house?
No, well, I lived with my mama, but if my mama made me mad and I couldn't do what I wanted to do, I came over here to my grandmother's. Okay. So I was in between. I never lived with nobody else, just my grandmother and my mother. If I couldn't have my way at my mom's house, I was going to call my grandmother, her mama and her daddy, and they was gonna come and get me or send somebody to pick me up. Me and my 3 kids, or me and my 1 baby, then me and my 2 baby, and then me and my 3 babies. And
So
then
what?
when I was here at my grandmother's house, and if somebody else came over here and I didn't really want them here, if I wasn't fighting them and putting them out, I would go back home. They didn't never say nothing. So my kids was over here at PF Stewart, then they was over there at Dorian Miller, then they was somewhere else because I was just moving around.
Why do you think they allowed you to get your way like that? Like, did something happen that maybe you don't know about that they felt like we're gonna let her do because she done had this happen. We're gonna, you know how some people overcompensate for some things.
I can't say. I mean, see, if it's something on their own, like say with my mom and stuff, I can't really. I don't feel it because she was mean as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, she didn't really let me. I just did it.
Yeah.
Well, and it wasn't like, and maybe the overcompensate may have been because she worked a lot. Maybe when she was in nursing school, because when we moved to San Antonio later on, you know, she went to school, and so she was gone.
Okay.
And so I was home, and then when I got old enough, I didn't want to be there, you know, because they couldn't. I don't know. I can't really tell you. As far as my grandparents, I don't know, because they never like acted like it was something that happened.
Okay.
That, you know, because I was always there, you know, and then I have a cousin that my grandmother raised, and he was raised like my brother. And him and I grew up real close, and I just don't remember nothing. He was spoiled too.
One thing I want to say, listening to you talking, I remember a lot. And whenever you or Anthony was not around, like I was mistreated. And
mistreated.
Yeah, and it's still like that to this day. Like people act funny towards me when you and Anthony are not around. Anthony's my older brother. You know, it was so that part, having that reality, you know, hearing the stuff whenever my older brother did something, I usually got the blame for it and got my back broke for it. But I mean, you know, such is life. But I just want to point that out. Like I'm listening to you, and that's not my reality, because whenever y'all weren't around or y'all was in the street or whatever, then I was pretty much left alone. I kind of got drugged a little bit.
Yeah, because I guess because we wasn't there, you know, because they, you know, people know even today, even right today, he's right. And I see, you know how you know stuff and you see stuff, but just because you see something doesn't mean you have to speak on it. See, you can learn a lot about a person by watching them and how they act. They don't have to talk, just watch their movements. And so with my mother's mother and father, I don't know. It was just like I couldn't do nothing wrong. I don't know why. I don't know. They never told me it was, you know, well, because of something. No, it wasn't. And then, you know, things got so bad later on down the line. By the time I had all 3 of my kids, from just, I don't even know when trauma, you know, when I think about trauma.
It's 5 of us.
How many did I say?
You said 3.
Well, hell. See, I was thinking about the first 3.
Young.
What was going on? It was my first 3, you know, and then Precious and Monica came along. So, but the first 3 was the ones that was here at my grandmother's house with me when I was here. They was with me when I was home, you know, with my mom. These 3, the 3 older kids were. And so I was looking at trauma, and it says trauma is an emotional response to a terrible event that can have long-term effects on your mental and your physical health.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked, you know, I was thinking about it, and I mean, I know what it means to me in my words, but I want to see what, you know, it was saying. And I know the things that I did out of immaturity, not and knowing right from wrong, but it was just stuff that I wanted to do. That's why I know I caused trauma to my kids because it wasn't nothing about. I wasn't worried about how it was going to affect them at the time. Why? I'm just about 15 years old. I'm not worried about that. I'm trying to do what I want to do. That caused trauma. Probably being at home and not knowing when I'm gonna come back. Being unstable. One thing about it though, you know how you can be a certain way, but it wasn't a whole lot of people around. Like I didn't have a whole lot of mess people. I didn't prove I still don't. And so that's why I say it come from me. It was a few folks around, but it wasn't like people in and out of my house running around. If you was around me in my house, that's because you probably stayed there with me. You had to be somebody. It wasn't like a lot of folks that was in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
You know how it wasn't. I didn't like folks like that, and a lot of stuff I did it on my own and by myself. That's why I ain't in prison. I promise y'all. I promise. And so I know it's, tell them they be looking upside my head.
Any other questions I want to ask?
Yeah.
If anything, I like I said, me and Dee have been best friends since I was 14. And for you, when he contacted me and told me that you wanted to come on here because you realized that you caused your children trauma, you don't know how major that is for a parent, and especially a parent in your age bracket, to openly admit that and want to be accountable for it. Like, I know so many people that can't have this conversation with their parent, but it's real when people don't realize how healing just having this conversation can be.
Amen.
And I really salute you for coming not only on here, but on a live broadcast to actually speak about the things that you've been through and the things that you've done, as well as the trauma that you have caused your kids. That is like so major. And it sadly is so rare in our Black community.
Yeah. It's bad. It's bad because we don't want to own up to our faults. And it ain't nothing wrong with making faults. You make mistakes. Okay. I didn't do it right. I didn't even know how to do it. I didn't know nothing myself. So I was wrong right there. But once I learned, and it was years later, you understand? To the point to where I didn't really talk about nothing for about 5 years after I got saved in 95. I didn't talk about nothing because I had to figure it out. I had to sit back and let it marinate on me and think about all the wrong stuff that I done that they ain't had nothing to do with. It wasn't their fault. They was just little innocent children with a young mama that didn't know nothing and didn't nobody tell her nothing. And since nobody told me anything, I couldn't tell them nothing. And it wasn't that I wasn't loved. I had morals. They respectful. It wasn't none of that. And trauma don't have to just be one particular body of people, group of people. Because even me coming from the type of background I come from, all my friends were nothing like me. They was retired military people, nurses, and I was living a double life. I had these people over here, and then I had these people over here. And when I talk to my people, my friends that wasn't from the drug, world and stuff, baby, they kids is crazy than mine. kids is
definitely
worse.
can affect them. It
So
can definitely affect.
no, so it's everywhere, all walks of life, everybody. And if we all as a people just accept your part, accountability, talk about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You understand what I'm saying? And it'll just work its way out. It's over with, it's done. We older. I've learned a whole lot. I know
I'm gonna
what I
say
did.
this though. The one thing, and I've told you this, Mom. Like, so my youngest sister, Monica, she passed away, right? And my mother took three of her children, three out of four, and she raised them. And I sat back and I observed. I watched her with those kids. And for me personally, I've congratulated her. I told her I'm glad that God placed her in that position to make a difference in those kids' life because they're awesome. They're not perfect, but they are awesome. Like she did a great job with them. Um, and and a couple of times I even laughed at my mom. See, that's what you get. You
Well,
know,
you know what, baby? They brought it. They brought it back. They
yeah.
brought it, that after she passed away and I had them children. I had just got married. Me and Kevin got married in 2007,
Shout
and
out
she
to my
died in
pop.
2010. I said, God gave me another opportunity to be a mother,
Mm-hmm.
and them
And she's in
kids.
college. Talia is a great mother. Had one
Yeah,
child. My nephew, he don't have any kids. He's got his family, working and stuff. So they
yeah.
are
They
adults.
stayed in the same school while they was growing up. I did not move my grandchildren like I did my kids. I did not move them. I don't care where I moved to. They went to the same school.
Yeah, I agree.
And in addition
I,
to that, she raised them three kids and also still took care of her mother.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and yeah.
Take care of my mama. Yeah, that's my
So,
girl.
so I just wanted to point that out, Mom. I did observe. Um, there's a lot of things. Like when I was growing up, that like I didn't have anybody to advocate me. Like when I was at school, so of course, so
Uh-huh.
I observed in that space. Like I tuned in to see, and I saw how you advocated for them, how you didn't allow them to get. And I never got jealous. I was like, I was so grateful that you
You was
stepped in
blessed
and
to see
stepped
your
in.
mama. You was blessed to
My
see your
nieces
mama
and
being
nephews.
a mama.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, thank you, baby.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey,
My
but
niece, it look like you got something on your mind.
I'm just trying to put the pieces together. I got a question. Um, when you said about 15, you had started smoking weed.
girl, no, by then I was shooting dope by then.
You shouldn't.
I was past the weed. I was into the big people stuff then.
So when did it? When did whatever your drug, whatever usage you started off with? How old were you when that started?
15.
You were 15.
Yes.
And so I'm curious about when you were 13 and you had a baby. Was the person your age or were they
He was
older? Or,
no, he was 17. He
okay.
was 17. He was my cousin's friend because my mom always had her nephews and nieces. Somebody was living with her.
Mhm.
That's how we did back then. And so he was my cousin's friend, and he would come over to see my cousin and me with my little cute black self fast, just doing stuff. And so, yeah, got the first one.
Yeah. Did that lead you to want to use drugs or
No, not the first one. We used to smoke weed then. See, people thought before we actually moved to San Antonio, and even after we was here, every summer my mother would send us to the country. We would go to the country every
Mhm.
summer. And they thought that we was out there. I don't know what the hell they thought we was doing out there, but we was out there smoking weed, we was drinking, we was doing everything down there. So I've been smoking weed before I
Mhm.
even got yeah. Boy, look. It
Okay.
When I think about it like that, she thought mama thought, oh, school's out, we going to the country for the summer. Baby, my
Yeah,
cousin them down there, we had parties down there. They used to come from Austin over there. We be out there doing. everything. So it started smoking weed at 13.
Now, were they older than you
No,
when they were?
some of them was, but my aunt that lived up there with my grandparents, her kids wasn't older than I was, and they was doing it like they knew how to roll weed and everything. So yeah.
So when did the hard stuff enter in and it became a daily, I guess daily or a habitual
Whenever,
thing?
most of the time at the age of about 15. And so I was living on my own, had my own place, and whenever I wanted it, I usually had a job. I ain't never been a bum, never just, had cars and nice houses, messed with old men to take care of me. And so, yeah, it was a pimp sort of. Nah.
Play on, play. I was just gonna say, play on, play on.
That was in my younger day, back in the day.
So
I just did it whenever I wanted to, however, and in 1993, March of 93, that was the lowest point. During that time, my son, the oldest one, he committed a murder, and he was he was downtown in county. And then my oldest girl, she ended up being raped. And then when we come from the hospital and everything, we find out that she's pregnant, but she had been pregnant. I had been on probably about 7 to 8 days straight. It was in 93. And just doing dope, shooting dope, smoking crack, drinking weed. And I set myself on fire because I just didn't want to live no more. I didn't want to live, and I didn't care about nothing. I did not give a damn. I was like, you know what? This is not how this is supposed to be. I know this ain't how this is supposed to be. And because no one in my family understood it enough to be like, all they could say was Jesus will fix it. That's all they could say. And that's all they knew, I guess. And so it just caused me to feel like, there's nobody, there's nothing. My father was murdered when I was 15. My father was murdered. And so when my dad, damn, that just snapped. Girl, I like you. What's your name? Wait.
Larnica.
I'm Larnica.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
It just hit me. My dad was murdered when I was 15, and that's when it really started.
It started for you.
Damn.
And but you know what? A lot of times we don't look at that. We miss all of that stuff, and it has to be something. It may not be
directly there, but something. Because my dad was cool. My daddy was like, and when he was murdered, it was because he was getting ready to come to San Antonio. Because he was he just wanted to come because I called my daddy. And I said, Daddy, this ain't. And I said, it ain't got nothing to do with my mom, ain't got nothing to do with none of this. And my daddy was murdered before he could get here. Yeah. And so after that, it was just whatever. But I remember setting myself on fire. And I remember like it was yesterday. I always tell people it was in March 1993. And it's coming up to be, like 30-something years now. Yeah. And after that, I stayed in the hospital a month in one hospital. And then I went to some mental institutions because I was still crazy. I just was crazy.
You know what's interesting about that, Mom? I I remember walking up, and you were still smoldering. You were sitting on the curb,
Back steps on the stairway.
yeah, on
Uh-huh.
the stoop right there, and I could see the steam, and I could see your flesh, and I remember the smell. Right,
Uh-huh.
even to this day, there's times when things would happen, and I smell the cum.
Mm-hmm. You see what I'm talking about, Tiki? Trauma. See? Trauma. That every so often something that happen. You understand? Okay, baby.
Yeah,
And I've always told him that he was handsome, he black, he good looking, he sexy chocolate.
Okay.
Daddy.
I've always told him that because he is and he was to me. You know what I'm saying?
even when she was even as a child, I do remember that, and it's stuck in there, and,
Yeah, I tell
and
my
it's
babies, oh
stuck, and nobody can tell me nothing different.
yeah. And, it's life, life and trauma. Come on. Trauma come
Mhm.
with life.
Yeah.
And and because we people don't want to talk about it or don't talk about it, they don't have relationships with their kids, with their
Yeah.
adult kids. They'll say, well, we just gonna cut each other off. Who the hell cut their mama off or who cut their child off? Because they don't want to. All you got to do is sit there and confront the stuff. It might not, it might get touchy. You might, but you confronting it.
Or
You
sometimes it
have
takes
to
more than one
confront.
conversation.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this might not just be no one thing, y'all. This might have to uh uh
Hey.
what battery? Oh no, Jesus.
You ain't got the
Uh-oh.
charger? Where your
Wait,
charger at? Go get the charger real quick.
wait, let me go back.
Look,
Let me go
only,
back.
only my mom. I need a break anyway.
You need oh boy here.
TK,
Well, Larnika is on here. She can run her own, talk about her own business.
Baby, can you turn it down?
do a
All
little
right. Out
commercial
of
break.
Just put
business,
but it's
we
going.
just finished Black History Month. We got some Soul Glow on sale. If you
Hold on, mama. Hold on. We're on the commercial break. Give us a minute.
Oh, okay.
if you are in need, if you are in Texas and you are in need of therapy services, come to Larnica Labs LPC PLLC. We do have our graduate interns that's offering free virtual therapy. I have some LPC associates that I'm
Yeah.
supervising. We have a sliding scale, so if you got a couple coins, we can fit your price range. And if you do have insurance,
Uh-oh.
you can see myself or one of the LPC associates. I do have a trauma and grief support group that is virtual and absolutely free.
Uh-oh.
Special guests will be on March 25th, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I think I'm taking a break, child. I was putting some other stuff together, but even the healer needs to recharge and do all that good stuff. But if you need any help, need some resources, go to www.lavlaslpc.com. All of my social media is Larnica Lavlas LPC PLLC. If y'all find Linky Love, just ignore that page and go to Larnica Lavlas LPC PLLC. Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely.
But you might as well advertise for Linky Love too, ma'am.
Linky Love, child, Linky Love will get me fired. On some days, that's the one that's off the chain. I try to be conservative in the other ones. Linky Love might be talking about everybody.
I'm about to go find
Well,
Linky Love.
Don't find Linky Love.
I'm going
Well,
to.
I was referring to on the point of it being LGBTQIA.
That part. Now I do try to have it, I you got to know your audience. And a lot of times people don't look at the message, they look at the messenger. And so I try to, and I don't have no LGBT page and straight page. I just try to, one page may have more, one page may have less based on the audience. So if you are a member of the LGBTQ community or ally family member curious about what's what, follow Linky Love. Linky Love might go off the rails sometimes, depending on what it is.
Absolutely.
But it's always mental health advocacy. It's always advocacy. I see that.
And I just want to shout out to Legacy Lee Holdings. Look them up on Facebook, Legacy Lee Holdings. They are here to help all things financial. Like the page, send them a message. They do tax services. They specialize in small businesses. Say like if you're a Uber or Lyft driver, or like if you have your own business or multiple businesses, that's their specialty. They specialize in that difficult space that the average tax preparer or whatever may have issue with. So contact Legacy Lee Holdings. All things financial. They are the bomb. So if you need any advice, information, anything tax related, hit them up. Legacy Lee Holdings. Find the page on Facebook, hit that like button, and get to communicating. So there's a question.
Yes.
You want to read the question?
The question says, D, what did the first steps of healing with you and your mom look like?
For me, personally, I just always wanted to have a relationship with my mom. I never wanted to hold anything over her head. I don't want, and even now, I don't want her to feel attacked. So there was a lot of times where I did not express what I wanted to express, but I know that we had to have these hard conversations. So I just had to push through, man. And we've always had a relationship, even, sometimes we fuss. I might not talk, I might not like what she's saying, vice versa. But man, I just always wanted it. Like I never wanted to play victim. I never wanted to attack my mom or to say the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Yeah, I tell my story sometimes and it's my truth. But I also focus on, the good stuff also. It's collective, man. But yeah, man, it was just a want. Like we said, I remember the first conversation that me and my mother had. I think I was maybe about 23 years old. I think Yara and Miracle were babies when me and you sat and had the first conversation, just moving in the right direction. And we, I didn't like what you had to say. She didn't like what I had to say, but we talked.
Yeah. Well, as a parent, you have to sit there and talk about stuff. Man, what is it that you can't ask? What is it that you feel like you can't say?
And as open as she is on this platform, she's open to we sitting having one-on-one conversations.
Yeah, he's an adult man. I'm an adult woman. I just happen to be his mom. Talk to me. Yeah. Even we talk about old stuff. Talk about trauma. These people don't know where they come from. Family members don't even know who you are, who you are. You have an idea, and then you get old and you find out, damn, that ain't even who I am. That's crazy as hell.
One thing I want to say though, hearing this story and so for me, that everything I've been through, right, and I've talked to my kids as well, and some of the stuff that I've been through, man, I mean, the trauma that I caused my kids was I smothered them. I did not let them go nowhere. I kept that firm. Like they couldn't spend night in nobody's house. Nobody can watch my kids. No, don't talk to my kid harsh because I know what it feels like not to have a person advocate, be at the schools and stuff like that. Then I overdid it. Like any sign of anything at the school, I'm calling lawyers and counselors, and we are going there together. They're gonna know that my child has a community, and we are here to advocate. But to a kid's mind,
Yeah.
to my kid, sometimes the kids just want to be kids.
Yeah.
So it made them not tell me a lot of stuff. It made them kind of distance themselves when they grew up, and just stuff like that. And me and my kids have had this conversation. Um, but yeah, so that's just a little bit of my story.
Yeah, because it goes, if him and I never sat down and had the conversation, if my mom had never sit and had the conversation with me, and I didn't talk to him, then he wouldn't have never talked to his sons, his daughter,
Yeah.
to whether they understand or not, or even if you're not even quite there yet. But it's a start. You understand what I'm saying? You got to start somewhere. You may start in the middle and have to go back to the beginning and start over. Or you might go at the end and then you got to come backwards. But you got to start somewhere. It could be where it just jumped around, beginning, middle, end, side, all kinds of ways. Different things affects people differently. Trauma, except it affects everybody differently. He overdid it. He's not a drinker. He ain't a smoker. He don't do nothing. Man, look, what? You know why? He probably watched me.
Indeed.
You understand what I'm saying? So it just, and I never said don't do it. You know how they say you don't do. You see me doing this, don't you do it? No, we're not even gonna do all that. If they don't, good. They done learned from watching their mama. They decided they didn't want to be well, I ain't no drunk no more. I'm not a drug addict no more. But I'm saying, y'all, I laugh, but I'm serious. I really am. That's how I deliver it, and I mean everything that I say. I laugh about it now because I'm healed. See, that's when you can laugh about stuff. It don't make me. I like talking to people with him about us. The reason being because it shows the world that hey, it can happen. I just don't understand. I hate to see when folks disrespect their mama and stuff. I don't care what I did or how I acted. They never did.
I still don't.
Well, yeah, they don't because they know.
I just
they just
don't want to fuss.
People like this.
I think you have like it depends on which culture you're talking about. I think that, and I don't have any children. I just know what I see.
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of times parents want to give the facade that everything is okay. And the children can see everything ain't okay.
Yeah.
But they want to give this facade. And like I talk to kids at school and they'll tell me my mom be acting like whatever, but she really be doing this. And parents don't own, or maybe they're not ready to own up to it. I'll give them that much. They may not be ready. A lot of times they have stuff in their lives that they want to shut off or hide, avoid stuff, pretend that it's not there and it's eating them alive. And then in turns eat their children.
Because they hide.
They hide from it. They don't know how to process it. They don't know how to say, I'm not okay. They feel like I got to be Superwoman, Superman for my child. Nothing hurts me. Nothing touches me. But the children see it. The children clearly see it. And it truly affects them. I can talk about my mother. Now, my mother wasn't on drugs or anything like that. My mom was just, by the drop of a hat, she would go off. She would go off. People already knew, don't you mess with her. And I am the exact opposite unless you push me. I ain't no killer, but don't push me. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it took a while. I'm a whole therapist. And my mom is one of them who has been praying about it. And even to a degree now, because she worked in my office and she's seen what I deal with and who I deal with. And I think in her mind about mental health and getting help for it, she a better place than probably 10 years ago with it. But we had a conversation one day and, she was dealing with something and she actually expressed it to me. Long story short, she had daddy issues. And I'm like, well, damn. Okay. Now I understand my childhood.
Yeah.
What was going on? She didn't want me to be around other people. She didn't have friends because she didn't trust people after my grandfather left with my grandmother's best friend. I didn't know that.
See, 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 trauma.
That part, and so I'm like, well, I'll be damned. You know,
That's it.
and I'm almost 50, so we really had that conversation, I think, sometime last year.
See?
But she had to get there. And I, in my mind, I did all my work in regards to my childhood. And I was able to receive her and not be like, oh, you hurt me, you did me. I was able to receive that from a healed space. Because I think had I not been healed, I don't even know.
Yeah, it's just like.
You want to read that question, TK, real quick?
We actually got two. So the first question was to Mama. Have you thought about writing a book to talk about your testimony?
Yeah. I have pages on the tablet here, in the drawer, somewhere. They everywhere. I do. I get started on something, but I'm gonna tell you, because I'm a nurturer and a caregiver, I always get thrown off. Somebody old in my family get old, and nobody want to deal with them, and there I go. I mean,
true story.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about it. I say now I'll probably have the opportunity now because the kids done left me.
They're grown, they're in college, they're starting their own families. They didn't
and it's just me and my husband and my auntie now. And so I have more time.
That's what I'm gonna do, Mama. When I get there,
you're
gonna sit down and we're gonna pull all that stuff together, because I'm in the same boat. I have stuff that I started writing all over the place.
See?
I'm gonna gather mine and send it to the editor, but we're gonna do the same thing for you.
See, I just want the Black women and men to realize and understand we're in this stuff together, man. You just because your pocketbook is this, that don't make you different from me, baby. You got trauma. That's why you go to work and make all that money and live in a big old 5-bedroom, 3.5 bath house, and ain't nobody never you. Who the hell want to do that? But I'm just saying. And it's when I talk to people like that, they got trauma. And then
you got one more question for you, Mom, real quick. Question. Go ahead, TJ.
This is actually well, I think it'll branch off to you too, Dee, after I read it. So the first question says, have you ever met with a therapist? If so, did you find it beneficial, and what did your family think about it? That's the first.
Did I meet with the therapist?
Yes,
the therapist didn't want to talk to me when I got through. They thought they didn't know. Yeah, I did, but they didn't want to talk to me no more. When I got finished, you remember Tyler Perry talking to Dr. Phil? No, that's how it was when I got through talking to the therapist, because it wasn't what they was thinking. How you gonna tell me what the hell I feel? I'm telling you. So I did, and they put me out.
Man, I'm sorry that happened to you.
One of them was.
However, yes, that's true. But she did have an awesome bishop that helped her a lot through a lot of that stuff.
Well, I was gonna go there, but Bishop was the therapist. I was gonna talk about it. The therapist. Did the therapist
look like us, or the therapist did not?
I was just going to ask that too.
One of them did, but see, they thought they was different. They did. One of them did, one of them didn't. And so they put me out. For real, like the Tyler Perry movie, that's how it was with the therapist.
Look here, Mama. We got 2 bomb Black therapists. If you're interested in getting that back started, she one of them.
Well, we can. One of these days, I'll let you know.
Hey, when you ready, Mama, okay. I'm here. I got to teach Black women.
I'm true to my hurt. I'm true to my trauma. I'm over it now. Mm-hmm. You know, I can tell people a whole lot of people come to me to this day. Just folks, always surrounded by people. When I talk, everybody listen, because I don't talk much. When I open my mouth, what I'm saying, it has meaning behind it. And I mean what I say. So, I think that's another, that's why I watch what I say.
And I think that people who have experienced things have a lot to say. I think that people who have experienced things, trauma, have a lot of wisdom because even though people may perceive that their walks of life are different, as maybe some people want to hold some kind of prestige. Like you said, you can have a 5-bedroom house and all this stuff and still have trauma. You know, you have CEOs that's on crack and everything else. So it don't even matter. But sometimes people think they're better than folks. And when they come in, they want to, start acting like, but trauma is trauma, no matter what
Yeah,
your bank account look like, what you smoking or drinking, what you got on your head or your
yeah, it does. It's just here. I had something at the top of my mind. Sometimes, I be thinking 2 and 3 things at the same time. Like my son, my oldest son, him, he don't listen to nothing. Girl, I can tell him something, be talking to him, and he says, "Yes, ma'am. Okay, mama. Yes, ma'am." That's just to shut me up. And I laugh because that's the same thing I used to do.
they want to hear it. I hear you.
So he just do what he want to do. He never listened. I didn't either.
She's not talking about me. She's talking about my brother. Just
No, but you too. I experienced you too.
not
So
at all. Listen.
the second part of the question was, how does your family view the mental health profession?
How do my family view? I don't know how my family view it, but I view the mental health profession as something that we all need because mental health is real. I still suffer from depression. I do. I did. And even to this day, there are times when I just shut myself off and I know what's going on. It's like this time of the year, I'm messed up. Why? Everybody that I love died in January. My mom and my sister died on the same day, about 3 hours apart. I was there. You know what I'm saying? From October all the way to probably like after April. So all these months, I'm really just going through because I have to. And every day is a battle because every month, January, March, you know what I'm saying? January, February, October, November, December, all this death, dealing with death. I've dealt with a lot of death, face-to-face death, having to make decisions, having people removed off life support and that kind of stuff. And, so mental health is real. And because I talk to people, I ain't been to mental health. Well, like when I go to the doctor, they don't like me neither because they want to tell me I need to take something. I say I'm not taking none of that. I don't need nothing to go to sleep, man. I'll be asleep before I hit the pillow. I don't need nothing to make me stop crying. I want to, what I'm saying? No. So they don't like me, but I believe mental health is good. I probably need some help, but they can't make me take nothing. And so they put me out because I won't cooperate with them. They don't believe when I tell them, once I found out who I was, and I found that through a man called Jesus, they done.
So that leads us to the next question. I'm glad you said that. Go ahead, TK. Read that next question.
You want to speak on how you feel about mental health? Since,
Who, me?
Yeah.
How I feel about mental health?
Family, and stuff. How do you feel about mental health?
Everybody in my family crazy anyway, so they.
I mean, I feel like you mean talking to a therapist? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, or like how do you feel about the mental health profession?
You could answer that,
Just FYI. Go ahead,
look,
Mama.
I work at the state school, state hospital. That's mental health, mental retardation. I see crazy people every day. Mental health is real. What they want to know about it? How I feel about it?
No. Go ahead. TK.
So as we have openly talked on here before, I gave a little headlock for my bestie to start therapy. And me and him have the same therapist. And she's also, so he is very much pro mental health as well as the healing journey and everything else. So you are actually getting parts to this family tree, buddy, if
So
you
what you
realize
trying
the
to
other
say?
project that I'm on.
Yeah. And there is some of my people in the comments, man. Some of my core brothers, man. They're here checking us out, and we talk about this mental health journey. And I've encouraged them to start talking to somebody, and sometimes it's just preventative.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just so committed to your six, man. I appreciate y'all brothers for rocking with me through this and just through this journey called life in general.
We have to let people know it's okay to not to be
Yes.
okay. There's nothing
Yes.
wrong with needing to talk. Men, black men, kings, we need you guys. Get healed through your trauma. Get healed from the mama, the mama issues, daddy issues. Allow someone to talk with you and not at you. Listen to you and be healed so we can come together and just let our men be our men because they walking around. Don't do that, Donna.
Okay, we got another question for you, Mama. Go ahead, TK.
Okay.
I
So
think I
this
get
is from Sharetta. She said, "What happened to make you want to stop using drugs and to get clean? And how long have you been clean?"
What made me was when I realized that I wasn't going nowhere. Because I had been to nursing school. Yo, anything that I wanted to do, I could do it. And then when I realized that I was on the wrong thing, messing with the wrong folks, being around the wrong people. And after my son went to prison, after my son committed that murder, and my baby was raped, and it was because I feel like I wasn't in place. I wasn't a mama, and I was still young, but I wasn't who I should have been. And I blamed myself for it. And so I was like, there's no way. Because I was in the hospital mental institutions and they wasn't doing right. I don't know what they thought. But it wasn't there that I found it. I didn't find it in a mental institution. I'm sorry. I talk to therapists all the time and I respect that. But that didn't help me. Not the way they wanted, because they wanted to give me stuff and thought I need to take all kinds of stuff, and I don't need to take nothing. I just needed to let it go and be real about it.
I think I was more excited than you was, Mom, on that day. I remember the phone call. I remember the conversation, after a couple of weeks. I remember like it was yesterday. I couldn't wait to get over there and just bring you whatever you needed. And just, I don't know. And then when I saw your face and I saw that it was something different,
Yeah.
like, if you remember, like, we hadn't talked prior to that for maybe a year or two.
But
I'm sorry, I might have mean to cut you off. You want to finish telling like how you came to that spot?
that was what happened is the reason why I wanted to change my life, because I just lost myself. I was gone, and that wasn't who I was. See, you got to realize it all depends on what people tell you as a child. What you hear, that has a lot to do with what happened. So they didn't tell me not to do something, but they didn't tell me like, oh, you ain't gonna be nothing or you ain't no good. My mama didn't talk to me like that. My mama cussed a lot, but she was mean. But she didn't, like belittle me and make me feel less than. And if she was cussing at me, it's because she was just sick of me. And I think how is Jasmine? My oldest grandbaby is about
Be
30,
about 29, 30, getting ready to be
about
30 in a minute.
31 years. I've been
Yeah.
about 31 years. Yeah.
So what was it, Mama?
93.
So how did that transition go? Did that light just go off from one moment to the next, and you was like you were done?
It seemed like it.
It seemed like it to me too.
It seemed like it did. It was like I woke up and say, you know what? This is it. I can't do this no more. I think my girl's father.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I am so sick of him. and what he got going on. If I don't leave from here, I'm killing him or he killing me. I'm gonna catch a case. And so I need to change. And then the ministry that I went in, it was like something that I was familiar with. They was all around. Bishop, Donnie Banks, Dante Daddy, Tinky.
Okay. Okay.
Him. You know, the ministry being around and, you know, drop-in centers being around and people coming talking to you, praying with you, you know, letting you know that Jesus loves you. You know, you don't have to live like this. And so one day I was like, you know what? Okay, ain't nothing else. I'll be crazy by the time these people at the hospital get there with me.
And the question was, after that, how long have you been clean? I want to say around 29 years.
Yeah, 29, 30, something like that. However old Ebony is.
1996, right?
95.
95, okay.
September 13, 1995. You never forget. You don't forget your natural birthday or your spiritual birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's almost gonna hit 30 years. What, 30 years this year?
Yep.
And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. To this day, most of the people from the church in that era think he my brother. They surprised. What is your mama?
Yeah, I remember we was hanging out with him.
You look like your big brother.
That's all right. I'm a flyest big brother she ever had.
Y'all crazy. Oh, but
anything else you got, Larnica? We rolling. We got a few more minutes to roll.
It's been a good day. It's been a good evening.
Yes.
I just know that I know who I am. I know what I did. I know how it affected my babies. It's just how it affected life. But check this out. Believe it or not, I don't even think I would change it. I'd do it again. If I was gonna come out and have the peace that I have. See, because at this point I done did it all, I done experienced it all of that. Trauma is trauma, okay, you know, and I can help somebody else understand that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to try to paint the picture. This is the ugly picture. Shit, this is what happened. That's ugly. But when you look at the ending of it, and believe it or not, I always, everything that I say, because I watch what I say, if I say something, 9 times out of 10, all you got to do is just pay attention to what I'm saying. Because I don't talk unless it have meaning behind it. My mother used to get upset at me because, you know, we be talking and she would want to talk about different people or different things. And I'd be like, man, Mom, I'm not finna talk about them folks. I don't know nothing about none of that. I don't care, nothing. And I'm still like that. But it's just because I don't get it. That I don't understand why we have to not accept whatever it is that we do that's jacked up. Didn't nobody do it but you. Okay, it messed up, but I didn't. I'm sorry. I apologized to him once. I told him, look, I did all that. I ain't changed it, but you're not holding me or no, you can't. Throw nothing in my face of what I did. I already told you. We know what I done. So you can't keep using that, trying to get nothing. You're gonna get hurt messing with me. And I mean that. You can't hold me in bondage. No. I'm not gonna let you. Why? Why won't I? We've already see you don't have to keep apologizing for the same thing. Especially if it's straight from the heart. You know what I'm saying? You mean that. You don't have to keep talking. You don't have to keep saying I'm sorry for that. If that's the case, I'm gonna keep saying I'm sorry all the rest of my damn life. Hell, I will live a long time. These people live old over here. Yeah. I'm gonna be saying that. No. So that's it. That's it. I did it. They all crazy as hell too.
I'm the most chill one, so you talk about the rest of them.
That's the main quiet one.
About nobody.
You about to
I
be.
think Mama said some things that was like a lot of profound things, but a couple things that stood out to me. Um, well, a lot of things, but for the most part, when you said your family didn't talk down to you,
Uh-huh.
and when you were able to become more self-aware, you remembered who you were, or you
Uh-huh.
discovered who you were, and I think
Uh-huh.
that's important because I think a lot of times when we go through trauma we lose sense of self. We're trying to figure out who we are, where we are, how we fit into this world. If you had people, or maybe even your belief system about yourself, whether I'm less than, then that's probably a lot of the battle right there to get out of, whatever the circumstances are, or to heal from the trauma. Self actualization or self awareness is important. That's what we search for a lot.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned about the church. One thing I must say, I have a I have like a love hate with the church to a degree, and it depends on the ministry. You
Uh-huh.
know, folk will be quick to tell you how wrong you are. When you're dealing with mental health issues, they will be more quick to point out all of your faults and tell you to repent. On the flip side of it, I love the ministries that do encourage mental health.
Yeah.
They do encourage you, hey, yes, pray, yes, repent, get your life together, but also see somebody about whatever you have going on. And I
That's a
think,
balance. That's a balance.
yes, ma'am.
It's a
And I think
balance.
community is important. I think it is important. That's why we have our support groups. I
Right.
think that it's important to have people around you who have experienced either same, similar, or something, where you can be like, I'm not by myself. I see these people, I see this one every day, and that's why I'm just listening to you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I'm listening, I'm like I'm hearing,
Yeah,
you know.
because some families see everything that works for this don't necessarily have to work for that because that person probably went through some hellacious shit in their family.
Yeah.
Their trauma might be some kind of stuff that they can't come back from. Because there's some stuff that people deal with, it blows my mind. Because I read stuff and I listen to a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, and some of these people, you can't blame them. I wouldn't want that to be my mama neither. Some families you want to get from and don't want to. I mean, come on now. Some of this stuff,
Yeah.
So like you have to. It's just a difference, Everything it ain't no one thing gonna work. The one size fit all. It ain't like that because everything is different. Wow, we all individual. We different. So what worked over here, you might need to put a little something else over there with that. Because it worked for you don't necessarily mean it's gonna work for me. I'm different. I'm wrapped different. My frame of mind is different. I think different. My environment I was raised up is different. So you got to go by it with an individual thing. You know what I'm saying? Because God is individual. He corporate and he individual too. He'll meet you. And so that's how it is with the church. Okay, I believe all that y'all saying too, but man, I'm about to go to this doctor because I might need something. Some people do because it's a chemical imbalance with a lot of folks. And so some people need stuff. They bipolar. So, thank God I ain't. I might be a little bit, but y'all crazy.
That's all right, Mama. That's all right. But yeah, one size does not fit all.
It
And I
does.
think that when we look at mental health, we look at therapists, a lot of we all different. We
Yeah.
all different. We all have our style. We all have our personas.
Uh-huh.
What y'all see on here is pretty much me and my session. I try to be a little bit more, button up in the beginning to kind of get a feel for my clients. Is this what they need right now? What part of me do they need? And then, I
That's
come out.
it. You ought to see me, girl, when it's time. It just depends.
Yes, ma'am.
This is me. I'm like this all the time. Anytime you come around me, you don't even have to worry about it. You don't even have to think.
Much.
No, because I'm
And
gonna do, yeah.
yeah.
But
And
I know I needed help. I needed to talk. I'm willing. It doesn't matter. Don't nothing hurt me too much no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't get offended too much easily. I might get mad. That's a difference. Or upset. That's a difference. But most of the time, I'm pretty much laid back because I've been there. I've been around. I've done some stuff. I started early. I'm in retirement now. I don't do anything.
Amen for retirement.
Yeah.
I know that's
Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't want to, I wasn't try. I wasn't even really trying to, but hey, man, I'm accepted. I still work.
Okay.
I take care of elderly. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's a lot right there.
Yeah.
That is a lot right there. Bless your heart. That is a lot.
definitely
So, y'all, I hope there's a lot. There's a lot more that I could have said that I can say, but I believe what was said was what the Lord wanted to be said on my part. I'm more into being a living testimony, not too much talk, but just watch me. And you can learn a lot from me by looking at me. I love people. I'm honest. Sometimes I'm brutally honest. However, I realize that once a person know where you are and where you're coming from, they don't have to think. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just know that I've been through a lot in my life, and my kids have been through a lot in their lives, and I understand it because I'm a part of it. Now, since I opened up and allowed them to know that I accept my part of the responsibility, but the rest is on every last one of them because why? They're adults now. So if they can't fix it, it ain't my fault because I'm gonna do my part and still love them, not fixing it because they still gonna be my crazy kids with trauma.
they ain't gonna be calling me crazy. That's all I gotta say.
Boy,
Um, okay, so all right. Are we
y'all
done
cool,
our final words?
huh,
we
baby?
can. But
No, Dustin
I
TK.
just
Are we
gave a
done?
few kind of words. I'm just over
Yeah.
here, just like
I've been around. You've been around so long, just so long,
Well, simple.
forever,
Yeah.
forever.
All right. Well, okay. Mom, is that all you got to say, Mom? You got anything? We doing our final words.
I'm cool. I'm through talking. I'm tired. I done talked a whole lot today in one while.
Okay.
all right. Larnika, you want to do your final words, ma'am?
Okay, well, my final words are, Mama, thank you for coming on. I
Mhm.
appreciate you, giving your testimony, telling your story, and coming to a space of healing. The purpose of being on here to be an example, because a lot of times we can talk about generational trauma, we can talk about the steps it takes to heal from it, but until you can see or hear a person who's actually done it, it almost seems a little taboo. Y'all say this, yeah, where is it? Where is it? Now this is etched on the World Wide Web forever. And people can refer back to it. And hell, I will be referring to you and some of my stuff I'm doing because I think it's very powerful. But for those who may be struggling, your parents might not be ready to talk about it. They may not even be ready to accept anything that they have done or maybe whatever, but that still doesn't mean that you can't do what you have to do for yourself. You can send some positive energy, pray for your parents, but make sure that you're getting what you need for you. Make certain that you're getting what you need for you. And I think this is like, okay, this is, hey, amen. This is a very good session. I say session. This is a very good podcast tonight. And it was. So that's all I got. Help is out there. Reach out. Got plenty of people who can help you. If you need some help, finding some help, give me a holler.
I will. I'm so grateful that I've got introduce to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Say
you. Likewise.
y'all need me, I'm here. If we want to dive into a little bit longer, a little bit deeper, it doesn't matter. I'm open. I'll talk about anything, whatever.
Yeah.
A lot I will, because I don't have anything to hide. God get the glory out of me, my life. Amen. I
Yeah.
love y'all. Guess I'm gonna finish making up some stuff for tonight.
1 second, Mom. 1 second. We're almost done. So the only thing I want to say is, I knew we couldn't tell as much as I wanted to tell in 1 hour. We even pushed it past an hour. So if y'all want a part two, then reach out to us. If y'all want a
We're gonna do a part
continuation
two.
of what we're talking
Mama then
about,
already gave
uh,
the go.
give us. Go
Let's
ahead.
go.
God.
I'm here.
We
Give
already
us about a
she
month or
gave the
so.
go already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let us know how y'all feel. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll just say, Mom, first of all, I celebrate you more than ever. More than ever. I thank
Oh,
you
hey.
for this opportunity. I appreciate all the support. Y'all, when I first started pastoring the church, my mom was the first person to join the church. She was there shouting and running around that little bitty room. And still, like even if it's something that she may not agree with, but the support is gonna be there. Like
Yeah.
like me and my mom, she's not just my mother, she's my friend, she's my confidant. Y'all, we talk almost every morning now. We talk. And we
I'm
talk about people sometimes, but we talk. um,
I'm
so I
just
love you, mama. And
cheerleader, baby.
like
I am.
you never have to worry about me trying to hold things against you or anything like that. We are moving forward in this thing called life together.
I know that, baby. I've never felt that from you. Never. Even when you was mad at me.
I'm
I
not
knew when you was
mad
mad.
at you because you don't
I,
listen, but you know.
I knew. I knew. But
Uh,
I know you love me and you respect me. You always have.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Amen. I love you too, you girl over there.
All
I
right.
love you
That's
too,
all I
Mama.
got, y'all. Like, share, subscribe. Keep
Yes,
rocking with us.
yes.
Come
I
on back.
enjoy
Y'all know
myself.
how we do. We rocking our orange today. Thank you, TK.
Especially our little therapist over there. Hey.
Yeah, she all right. She all
Yes,
right.
she been rocking with us for like over a year now, and she just fell out the sky on my timeline on
That
Facebook,
is
and I
so good.
reached out.
No,
We've been
that's all
connected
right. It's
ever
good. It's
since. So
good. It's good.
that
It's a good thing.
divine alignment, and I'm more than thankful and grateful for it because
Mm-hmm.
we support each other. So
Yeah,
yes,
she was all right. She was all right. I ain't
she
gonna,
I
I
is.
ain't
love
gonna say.
y'all. I'm finna
Love you
hang
too,
up.
Mama. Okay, Mama,
But
you can
don't
go
hang
ahead
up
and
there.
close out. But I thank you so
So
much
check.
again for being on here and greatly appreciate you.
Yeah, and
And
like
we will do that part too.
I will. I'm ready.
Give us about a month or two. We'll set something up. About 2 months or
Yeah,
something.
All right,
yeah.
baby.
All right,
Y'all.
Mama.
I'll see y'all later.
Yes.
All
Well,
right.
you'll see us tomorrow, but you know.
Yeah.
Have a blessed night.
Uh-huh.
Bye bye.
Later.
TK,
All right.
she finna go eat. I
Thank
know
y'all
she's
so
hungry.
much for. Huh?
No, I was saying, I know she. Nothing. Go ahead.
Got you.
Mom finna
Um,
go eat. She hungry.
I got you. I know. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I would say the best way to break the generational curses as well as heal from the generational trauma is to talk. Like
Definitely.
people don't understand how much. If you seen how if y'all really paid attention when it started really kicking off, and Mama realized, started connecting the dots because the reality started hitting of different stuff. Them conversations happen like that. You were like, wait a minute, just talking. You were like, oh, wait, this happened. Didn't realize this happened. Sometimes that trauma will block stuff out your mind because you're really trying to put it as far back in the back of your head to be able to deal and just continue in life. So these conversations with your parents, if you ever are blessed enough to have it, man, have it and cherish it. Like for me and my daughter, I have a 27-year-old daughter. We've hit this probably about in the last year or two, and she was in the comments. And I thank my baby for supporting me with my podcast. She's been one of my cheerleaders since day one when I started this. But we've had to have this healing and break these curses and trauma ourselves, because a lot of time that subconscious mind, y'all don't know the power of a subconscious mind. And a lot of times you do stuff from what was done to you and don't realize that you did it or that it was wrong. Like, man, I'm telling you, the therapy, it will align some stuff and show you some things. It ain't even got to be intentional. It's just because it looked for us. A lot of stuff looked like it was okay, or you thought this was how it's supposed to be, and you stubborn in your 40s or whenever you just start to go into therapy, but that ain't what it is. So I'm thankful that me and my baby have been on this healing journey together for about a year and a half now. Thank you for some outside shenanigans that came in and definitely threw us into that space. It may have been traumatic, but it's helping us, and we're in a better place, and we're breaking these generational curses ourselves as a mother and daughter. So I definitely feel the blessing, and I'm definitely thankful for it. But me and her can have the conversation, and I can't have with other people. So it's even has even more value to it. And we have the same therapist, believe it or not.
Well,
So,
amen.
yes, we do. We had the same therapist. So thankful for that. But y'all try to have these conversations, real talk. You could piece together a lot. And when you start doing the family tree and start seeing how generations of stuff connect from great grandparents to this, man, it would blow your mind. Shout out to Jade, my therapist, if she's watching, because I know she said she would. But baby, she earned her money with me. I'm gonna tell you that. Most definitely. So I thank y'all, everybody that tuned in tonight in supporting this podcast, in supporting of Dee-J, in supporting of Mama Donna. I appreciate y'all. We already know Larnika brings her crowd, so we appreciate y'all as well. And she gives her people credits for watching this podcast. So that's how the extent she takes this further with her stuff. Again,
Right.
if you need a therapist, we got 2 Black women. 2.
And if they're not a fit for you, then they know somebody. They have other people.
Exactly.
Men and women. So reach out.
If it's something that I feel like I should know, and I know somebody that could better serve you, I'm not trying to get all the money. It ain't about a money grab for me. It's about making certain that the client gets what they need and you get that healing. You know,
Yes.
definitely.
So there you
Yes.
go.
And again, services are available for free 99. Like there's
Hey, we getting ready to turn it up this summer. Boy, you getting ready to come on board this summer. They've been calling me. Can we work with you? No, they said the free therapy gonna be lined up this summer.
Man, I'm
Okay.
telling y'all.
So
Get
therefore,
together.
get your space. Get your space while the
Yep,
space is
there's
available.
no excuse. Like, there's no excuse. Free 99. And again, she also does trauma and grief sessions that are free as well, once a month. I'm on them every month. I enjoy them. I've met some awesome people. We've actually had the last few people, not from the last episode, the 2 episodes before, have been on her grief and trauma sessions.
And I
Awesome.
enjoyed the
Y'all
last
love it.
episode too. The last session.
That one right there, that was like
Yes.
the one for me. I was like,
Enjoyed
wow.
the last session.
Yes.
I will be tuning in again. So make sure and
Definitely.
send that reminder out to me.
Definitely.
But
So definitely the services are here. They're available. They are accessible to y'all. Hey, if y'all forget, go back and rewatch this. Y'all can hit us up on any of the TikTok pages, TikTok, Facebook, IG, or if we already friends on Facebook, message me for information. I will gladly give you either therapist, because hey, I back both of them highly. So hey, it is what it is. She wouldn't be on here if I didn't trust her. So that's my homie. You see, like I said, she been rocking with us for over a year. And we love her and we appreciate her 110%. And she's doing great and wonderful things. They got her out here working, baby. I'm seeing her out here at these events, and she getting awards and stuff. So she out here, yes, she out here doing it to it. So I'm loving to see it, but definitely support her. Support the tax person. Hey, this tax season,
Legacy Lee Holdings. Legacy Lee Holdings.
Yes, do not go to H&R Block and all these other people that's finna take most of your taxes just for you to get them processed. Baby, you can pay a decent price and still get your taxes back in the same amount of time. Don't play yourself like that. Please don't. And 9 out of 10, these people will mess up on your taxes, and then you have to go to somebody else for them to fix them because you're gonna end up having to pay. Yep. Been there, done that. So,
and it is black owned. She is amazing. Legacy Lee Holdings. Look them up on Facebook. Like the page. Message them. They're very professional. You will not be disappointed
at all. And she's an awesome, wonderful person as well. She is a great resource. We've had her on here on the voting sessions. I know she was on one, I think, for fibroid. She's been on a few sessions, episodes. So again, check her out. Support her. If you have not, like, share, and subscribe. We will have a part 2 to this, but we have some great episodes coming up. We're taking it up a notch. This is episode 177.
Wow. Okay.
And our anniversary is on March 27th.
March. I was thinking 200th episode.
March 27th. So we pushing for that 200th episode. And hey, we doing it. Oh, you girl, what? Hey, look here. If y'all go to Legacy Lee Holdings, tell her you were referred to by TK's Chronicles of a Black Sheep, because I can use that $250, baby. Look here. Eggs $10. Right? Look, eggs $10. I almost left them eggs in the store the other day. You it's bad when you making life decisions at the grocery store. Do you understand what I'm saying? Life decisions at the grocery store. So yeah, and gas going back up. So yeah, but on that note, we are out. If you get a chance, like, share, subscribe, share this with somebody that can help. And or go even rewatch this episode of last week's. Last week's was very inspirational. If y'all need some inspiration in your life, go watch last week's episode. We actually have to have a part 2 on that too. So, man, that's all I'm saying. But on that note, we out. Be safe, and don't go broke behind no egg.
Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this. Don't talk about it. Really on the move.